Hello everybody, welcome to the Lesson Bank. I'm Pete. In this video, we're going to break down what it means to use form to your advantage in your drum solos. Let's get to it. Okay, so in my last video, I talked about using the melody, the lyrics, and the form to your advantage in your drum solos, where the melody gives you rhythmic ideas to start your drum solo, and the lyrics give you sort of emotional ideas. The form can give you story ideas. How do you start your drum solo? How do you end your solo? Where's the climax of your drum solo? Let's dive into that, right? First off, in terms of story, the dynamics can give you a really good edge. The amount of notes that you play, what your rhythmic ideas are, can give you so many ideas as to how to start off your story. But knowing the form, knowing if it's an AABA or an AABC form, or maybe it's a 12-bar blue form, that gives you a starting point as to how I'm going to build my solo. So we used Avalon, and I'm going to show you Avalon again. With Avalon, some call it just an A. I'm using it for the purpose of this video. I'm saying it's an AABC form. Basically because the two A's sound similar, the B section sounds different from the two A sections, and the C section sounds different from all the other sections. So how do you use that to your advantage? Well, let's get into that too. So with the two A sections, you know that it starts off first. Let's use that as a basis to begin this roller coaster ride, right? The melody could be what you use to start off your rhythmic ideas. Da 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 da. Right? You could use that as a rhythmic idea to start off your drum solo. If you know that the B section is going to go somewhere else, you can start to build upon that rhythmic idea, or it could simply just be, I'm using a quieter, more softer rhythmic idea. Maybe it's just two notes. Maybe it's really quiet as opposed to really loud, right? So with the A section, you start off nice and quiet. Boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, boom. And then knowing that the B section's coming, you're sort of saving something. You're sort of giving your audience members sort of a curiosity. Oh, what's he going to do in the B section? Or what's he going to do to end the solo, right? You start small. And then in the B section, you start playing a little bit louder. You start adding cymbals, right? Maybe you use the same rhythm in every measure, but you start adding things and things start coming together in that way. And you're building your story in that way, right? And then the C section comes and you're like, oh man, the story needs to end somewhere. How do I want to end it? Well, do I want to end it with a bang and start playing really louder and, getting more intense? Do I want to end that way? Or do I want to end on a nice little soft note? Knowing the lyrics can help you with that decision. But for form, it's sort of understanding the arc of the story and the song itself, right? Also, when you're coming towards the end in the C section, you need to start thinking, where are we going in the song? Am I the last solo in all the soloists? Is the last part of our arrangement going to be the trumpet player and the horns come in and we end the song? Or is the last part of the arrangement going to be this really huge big band outro with a bunch of hits and stuff like that? That'll also dictate how you end the song, right? So let's break down what each section could potentially sound like. So if just for the sake of this video, you want to use this sort of arc kind of way to tell your story. Like I said, you could use it starts here and it just goes loud and you start launching off into the next section. Or you can start off loud and then get really quiet. Your first A section starts off with the bang, and then the next A section gets quieter, and the B gets quieter, and the C section gets even more quiet. You can have your solo go that way. For this video, we're talking about like this sort of like arc way. So your first A section can start off sort of quiet and then gets into the B section, or the next A section. Those two A sections can sort of sound something like this. And so when you get to the B section, how do you change it up, right? Well, you can change it up in this sort of way. Maybe you want to add some more cymbals. And then the last section in this song is what I call a C, the C section, right? It sounds different than the two A's and the B. And let's say I'm the last solo, and it's going into just the front line playing, and even the rhythm section is going to cut out after my drum solo. This is how I would maybe want to end my solo. So those are a few examples and a few ideas on how you can use the form to your advantage. When you start to understand the different types of songs that are out there and what forms they use, you can use that to your advantage for your drum solo or for somebody else's solo. How do you back them up throughout their solo? You know that the B section is coming up, so you want to make it a little bit more intense, and you hear the trumpet player playing a little bit more intense, so you can help them knowing that when we get to this section, they're going to change it to that or whatever, something like that, right? Okay, so hopefully you have a better understanding as to why the form is so important for your solo. Not only is it important for your solo, but it's important to understand the form of the song to help other people in their solos. It's all about story building. It's all about storytelling. It's all about, keeping the audience engaged. If you have a better understanding of the form, you will be able to solo with this sort of story in mind. Okay? So learn as many melodies as you can, but also try to find out and memorize what type of form each song has. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let's start practicing, right?